And welcome to the Deuce Podcast. I'm Brad.
And I'm Jeremy.
Jeremy, it is episode 176.
176.
It is Justin Timberlake's favorite month. It is May 1st.
It is going to be May.
It's May 1st, and we decided to do, I don't know if you call this a sequel, but we are maybe a spiritual sequel.
I think it gets called, I've seen it called a spiritual sequel, a companion
sequel, or a companion piece.
Yeah.
To the Wicker Man. It is 2011's The Wicker Tree.
Yeah.
Starring no one. And cameo by Christopher Lee. Yeah. Am I right?
It has, what's
Gavin
his name?
McTavish.
Gavin McTavish.
Gavin McTavish. Let me tell you a little bit about this. I read some trivia that you might find interesting, Jeremy. In 2002, it was reported that Hardy was working on the film entitled The Writing of the Laddie, said to be the same genre as The Wicker Man.
Yep.
Sean Astin had signed on for the male lead, with Christopher Lee, Leanne Rimes, and Vanessa Redgrave set to play major roles. Lee was passed on the screenplay. He passed the screenplay to Astin when they were working on Lord of the Rings. Ewan McGregor had also read the script and requested a cameo appearance. Of the story, Hardy stated, what?
How did this go so far?
I have no clue, but Hardy stated, it's about a certain kind of American innocence abroad, featuring two young born-again Christians that make a pact not to have sex before marriage, and they come here like the Mormons and preach door to door. It's a thriller. They get sucked into the dark world. We hope to start September for 2003 release. But the film went through financial troubles, so he published a novel called Cowboy for Christ.
Cowboys for Christ.
Cowboys for Christ. Hardy felt the writing of the novel gave him a much clearer idea of what he wanted to do, and he eventually adapted the novel into the screenplay that we now know, what no one knows except me and you, and anyone else who watched the movie, called The Wicker Tree.
Oh my God.
Christopher Lee was also supposed to be the main role, but broke his back in a film.
Did he actually break it? I thought he just injured it.
I think he injured his back. So he injured his back in production of The Resident
he tripped over some cables
in New Mexico. Yes. Or he was trying to get out of this movie.
That's kind of what I think. I kind of think he was just like...
But it was like, hey, you know what? I'll give you a little cameo. Here you go.
Well, he wrote that cameo special because he still wanted to keep him in it.
Right.
And by the time that he had been injured, they'd had Christopher Lee lined up to play Lachlan. And Graham McTavish was supposed to be Bean, like the butler guy.
Right.
Which makes sense because he plays a lot of those kind of roles. Oh my God, the soap opera star.
Joan Collins,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Was supposed to be...
I'm on top of it.
Was supposed to be the Lady Lachlan's wife.
But obviously when all that switched over, then they made McTavish. So they had to change the character to make him younger, to make her younger.
Yes. So
then they had that actress play the lady, the lady of the Lord, or whatever you want to call her. So that's a little history behind the Wicker Tree. Just a little, tidbits. I mean, it kind of makes sense when you hear Leanne Rimes' name, the country aspect or the singer aspect.
When we first started,
I would have been okay with that because it'd been like almost kind of like this kind of different role for her.
Yeah, when the movie first started playing, and I went, "Is she supposed to be Leanne Rimes?"
Right, and you're like, "Oh yeah,
exactly. She looks like her and everything."
Yeah. I called her Kelly Tickler instead of Pickler.
Why?
I don't know. Because I was stuck on American Idol for some reason. No, but like, and then Vanessa Redgrave makes sense because I just picture Vanessa Redgrave and Christopher Lee being all creepy together.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. But unfortunately, none of that happened.
Right.
And unfortunately, we got this movie, which by all means isn't the best movie, you would say, but I would say probably better than the remake of the Wicker Tree. Or the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've seen the Wicker Man.
Yeah, and I really hate the remake.
And you really hate that, right?
Yeah.
And which do you like better? A lot of people like this one just a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, I would at least... I mean, this sucks too. But,
right.
But,
well, let me help you. In April of the year, Hardy, the director, discussed the mixed reviews that the movie had gotten. And a reviewer of the New Yorker said that while it wasn't as gritty as the original Wicker Man, it's 1,000 times better than the remake. I was quite happy with that. And then when asked whether he preferred the Wicker Tree to the original version of the Wicker Man, Hardy replied, "No, I really don't." Meaning, how could you... I mean, the original, the Wicker Man, I love that movie. There's so much to that movie I love.
Yes.
It's creepy, it's weird, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's just, it's 70s.
But that's what I feel like.
It's gritty.
That's what I feel like is
missing
from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, I mean, the remade Wicker Man is just garbage.
Even the bees.
No, that even, like,
right.
The fact that kept going, I'm like, I get
like,
it.
why? Yeah.
Yeah. Bees. This one, I at least can maybe see where there was some potential in a story. It seems
it's
like
hard to,
yeah, but like to me, like the stuff that made the original Wicker Man so good and so
endearing,
and like, and more than it was like unsettling.
Yes,
and I think the things that would have made that happen in this movie, I feel like got stripped out, and it was more bare bones.
Do you know why I like the first one? Because the first one, even though it is like the 70s, right? Because it has that 70s tone to it. It's almost like this town is almost not set in some kind of time. It's like stuck in a different time.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's even creepier. Plus you got the 70s aspect kind of mixed in.
Yes.
I almost wish that like this was almost kind of even pushed back to that kind of like where it was the 70s.
Yeah.
Why not? Why does it have to be set in real time if it's a companion piece?
I know it takes place, or it was released in 2011, but I think like in the mid part of that decade, you started seeing more of like those 70s where they were like, we're going to take that 70s feel and really like apply it. And I feel like if this maybe would have been done 5 years later, you could have gotten that again. But like in the early 2010s, you still kind of have that like 2000s like slasher film kind of. It was where they were really like
trying to be slick about it.
Yeah, it was almost like a continuation of the 90s horror, like, you know, urban legend to blah blah blah. You know, like,
not even that. There was like even like a moment after that, like between that and Saw, where it was like where it felt like everything looked like itself. Like everything was gray and brown and just kind of like Muldoon.
Yes.
You know, where it was just like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And that you could like, there was no twist ending because you knew what was going on.
Right.
Even in this movie, you know, even if you hadn't seen the first movie, you know that there's horror movies with weird people going in, or people going into weird towns and disappearing, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not a new trope.
Right.
So like you don't even have that. So going into like knowing that this is going to be compared to the first movie, it's going to have that first movie themes to it, then why not give me something new? And I don't think he's doing that here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If anything, he's giving me a new version of the old movie.
Yes.
And I don't like that because I already had seen that movie.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. The cat mouse version of the first movie, the mystery behind it, the horror behind it, like everything. There was mixed genres in that movie.
Yeah.
And that movie, the first movie, picks up right away.
Yes.
Like he lands there in that town and it doesn't stop. until the end of the movie.
Yep.
This is just like boring for about an hour.
Yeah.
Then he's like, "Oh, here's your warm milk," and that's when we get like it's about an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
And that's when we sort of start getting the weirdness.
Yeah.
And even then, it's almost too late.
Yeah, I think even then, the thing that gets me about this one is, and I sat here thinking to myself about, I think part of the Mayday Festival, like in the first one, was, I remember, yeah, it had that 70s feel to it. But it was also very colorful, and it felt like, it had that weird thing where it was like, it felt joyous.
Yes.
But also, it felt joyous and colorful and vibrant and full of life.
Right. Like those people weren't taking themselves so serious.
Yes, but with that weird undertone of like something creepy is happening.
Right. It was their festival.
Yeah. And this one, like, they talk about the festival and talk about how it's going to be whatever, but everything is so drab.
But I don't believe them.
boring.
I don't believe that they believe in the festival.
Right.
I believe that McTavish probably does.
Yeah.
But that's about it because he's like the leader.
The other one, like, I was like, when you see it, like, they are all in. Like, those people were absorbed in it. And this one, it was like, and it looked like when they finally were like celebrating whatever and had shit painted on them or whatever, it looked like they rubbed on those like temporary tattoos that you get out of a gumball machine. Like, it didn't look real. It looked very hokey. Like, and it was almost like a different kind of like, the other ones were like celebrating and were more like, you know, earthy kind of people. And this one seemed more like,
what makes the horror of the first one so creepy is the fact that you're like, they could be right.
Yeah.
This could help their town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
This one I'm like, well, this is based on their nuclear power plant.
Yeah, that's what was
through McTavish, because they haven't been, you know, like something has happened and they're not being able to give birth.
Yeah, the nuclear plant made them sterile.
To make them sterile or something.
And so instead of doing like...
We do get a Mr. Burns reference from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
There, and I'm like, well, okay.
But you can tell that line was written for Christopher Lee, though, because he was...
Yes.
But it was. He's an old man who runs the plant. And...
That would make more sense to me.
Yeah.
But drop it.
Yeah.
We don't need it with him. I felt like he was like, I still think it's funny.
Yeah.
No, it's not working with this movie. This movie felt like it was written by someone trying to figure out what America like has with religion and like that.
First off, the numerous... I think that this is another thing that got me, was that like it was a lot of... You could tell they based it off of television. Like what they thought these evangelicals were like at like these... She's like a biggest like religious, you know, country star, and
she's a country star
like
who's religious.
All the churches look like they were these like dirt shacks that came out of like not even like something that wasn't even like fancy enough for like Little House on the Prairie. It was like, it just looks like it looks like a Dust Bowl era shack. And they were like, "Yep, that's our church." And I'm like,
"That's what happens in the South."
I'm like, "Come on."
I don't even think that. I think he knows what America is like. I don't think he knows what like the southern part of America is like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It looked like he took his ideas from television shows. Like that's where he got that. Yeah.
Agreed.
And their accents were pretty bad and in and out a lot. Like in the beginning.
Well, even because the cowboy guy, he is British, right?
Or, Henry Garrett?
Yeah,
Henry
Scottish.
Garrett plays Steve.
Okay.
And he's from Bristol.
Okay. That you could... I'm like, oh, God bless you that you're trying, but you can kind of hear it.
The first thing he says, it sounds really Scottish. And I was like, so is he Scottish and going, like, he's... bringing her there, and I was like, oh nope, he's supposed to be country.
I kept doing that Saturday Night Live sketch. Oh, like American baseball.
Yeah,
drinking Paul Malls,
drinking my gin and tonics,
and smoking my Paul Malls. And it just was like, oh my god.
And her, who does her Leanne Rimes thing, she's her well, this is pretty much all she's done, but Her name is, I think she really does like singing
Mm-hmm.
of some kind, but her trying to sing with a southern accent and country stuff just seemed weird. I think that wasn't her like style of music.
I don't probably not.
Because you could see her like trying to struggle to like twang it up, and I'm just like, I bet she sings really nice. Like it's probably like Celtic, more like
probably
folksy
Celtic
stuff, because I think that's what it sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, her name is Britannia Nichols. So like,
wait, no, give me her character name.
her character name,
Yeah,
Beth Boothby.
Beth Boothby.
Yeah.
And everyone kept going, "Oh my God, are you Beth Booth?
Are you Beth Boothby?
like the most famous American that ever graced us, Beth Boothby." And I'm like, "What? Not even America. Like when they're in America, no one even knows who Beth Boothby is. Like maybe two churchgoers are like, "Oh my God, Beth Boothby."
Yeah. No, but when she pulled up,
right?
Well, first off, it's weird. She's driving down. It opens with
in a limousine.
She's in a limo driving down a road. There's a cowboy on the side of the road. She picks him up, and it's her boyfriend, like in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
And then they get to a church where it is very clearly British women.
Right.
Like they have British hairstyles.
Oh my God,
and
teeth.
And not even that. Like they're just a very like particular look.
There's a particular look,
and like because their outfits were not like they weren't like Southern American outfits, except for the cowboy hat.
Except for the cowboy hat.
But even those were like you got them from a costume shop.
But also like we need the cowboy. We can get the cowboy. Like they were like, "Ooh, we got a cowboy this time."
Yeah.
Like what'd you get last time? You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but that's
it was very.
It was very odd.
Yeah. And I always...
Why is it, okay, but let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Like I get because of the connection to the first movie. Why is it called the Wicker Tree?
Because the tree at the end was made of wicker.
That's it.
That they were burning.
But they were burning it, but that's it. Like, there's no reason for this to be called the Wicker Tree.
No, they don't really talk through that.
Like, the laddie thing is probably better as far as, like a title is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, but, if you'd have had it separate from that, if you would have had it separate from that, and would have had, like, the Pagan Trilogy, where you had, like, 3 movies.
Agreed.
That were
that's what he wanted to do, but then he died.
Yes.
Yeah.
That were involving, like, paganism, and it didn't get into that. Like, I could see that, but I think that he felt like he needed to have something to, like, get people to go, oh, it's a sequel to the Wicker Man.
To get eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Just like how... like when studios buy these shit scripts and they're like, can you attach this to American Psycho?
This is American Psycho 2, right? We always bring that up, but it's true. This is American Psycho 2, right?
Yes.
Well, it has nothing to do with the first one. It's okay.
It's all right. We'll make it.
It's got William Shatner in it, though.
We'll make it connect. Mila Kunis, Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, Mila Kunis. Oh, Mila Kunis.
Yeah, so...
Come and kill me, Mila Kunis, Mila Kunis. Go back and listen to that episode if you want to.
So, I think, like, there is different things you could have done with this. Either make it, like, a different kind of pagan standalone thing and not try to attach to that.
Don't take yourself so serious.
Yeah, like...
Although there are some funny moments in it. I also thought maybe some of those funny moments were not supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But they were.
Yeah.
Yes, when he premiered this, he said, it's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that meant. I don't know if he was like, it's okay to laugh at like the Christianity aspect of it.
I think it was like...
Or it's okay to laugh because I really didn't do a good job.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just like a...
Don't take it so serious.
Yeah, if you don't like it, that's okay too.
Gotcha.
If you do, great. But if you don't, like, whatever. It's not like a perfect thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think that he was somebody who was like...
I don't think so either.
He got a chance to make a movie, and I think he was okay with that. He knew...
Yeah.
When he said, "Oh, it's still 1,000 times better than this," it's like, I think
but not as good as this.
Yeah,
he knows.
Yeah,
lightning in the bottle in the first movie. Man.
Oh,
that was
absolutely.
So great.
And aside from missing out on all of the, like the 70s and like the colorful and life kind of things. I honestly would have liked to have seen this go a different way. I would have liked to have seen.
It never happened.
Well, I would have liked to have seen like a twist with, that it really was like a celebration of life, and that it was like the Americans overreacting to like their pagan rituals, who were the ones who brought death, who were like
Tucker and Dale kind of like.
Yes. That they were like, they freaked out and killed somebody or killed each other accidentally or whatever it was. And that the pagans were like, dude, we weren't going to kill anybody. Right. We never were doing any of that.
Why would we do that?
Yeah. And
you guys have seen too many horror movies.
Yeah. That it
something
was,
like that.
You guys were, meta. You judged us because it was your, you were supposed to be bringing this religion of love and you didn't, like that kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. I would have almost liked to have seen it.
Or it's like The Game. Yeah. And the cowboy's in on it.
Yeah.
And she's the Michael Douglas character.
Yes.
Oh my God, is this The Game? Is this The Game?
It's all been one game to you.
It's all been one game to you, right?
But like, I would have liked to see something like that, maybe a different, or like a commentary on the fact that like we judge different religions.
And why not?
Strangely,
that seems like it's a good role.
Yeah.
Some people might think that would be a cop out from the first movie. Instead of having the same, because you wouldn't have necessarily the same themes.
Yeah,
you would be mostly relying on the first movie to stereotype the second movie to push the plot along. Yeah, to kind of like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and that'd be ridiculous to rely on the first movie.
Because who would do
the Wicker Tree to rely on the first movie?
The Wicker Tree.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even take place in the same place. It's not Summer Isle.
That's why I'm like, it's not that. That's why I'm like, this isn't a sequel, but it is a sequel because there is those connections to it. But how much of it is that than Hot Fuzz? I mean, you get Hot Fuzz. In fact, some of the sets. Yeah. I was like, is this leftover sets from Hot Fuzz?
I thought that too. I was like, is that Hot Fuzz?
I really did. Like when they were going through that town, I was like, that's Hot Fuzz. Like at the beginning. Not the countryside, but like the city. Yeah. I was like, this is Hot Fuzz?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a British village. Like, the kind I mean, like the like in Hot Fuzz or in things
but like,
where it's like
even that, like, A, did it better, and B, even if you hadn't seen the Wicker Man, from Hot Fuzz or from any other movie what really is going to go on in this movie. Yes. Or what is, so the mystery isn't quite there. Right. We already know that there's a mystery. Yes. So maybe your aspect of like, guess what? The mystery is there is no mystery. Yeah. I don't know. That could play maybe.
I think that like, I would have just liked to see it be like you can have a commentary on like, hey, look, I mean, it could have been a commentary on the first film too, that like, we demonized a Celtic religion, but they're not like, it's not like this. Or like, you think about like how many people attribute horrible things to like Wiccan, and it's like, well, yeah, it's not like that. I think that you could have called out like I
honestly don't like that it was like too, I don't know why, but I think what bogged it down for me was that it was too Christian missionary people. Yeah. Instead of like this mystery. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. That you have a policeman looking for a girl. Like why couldn't it have been like her grandfather, who she's been trying to track down the mystery?
Well, I think because they wanted to,
you know what I mean?
They needed to get two people who were like virginal because they had their purity rings and
right. I get
whatever,
that,
which I'm just like whatever, horse shit. It just the whole thing seemed weird. And then there was like, they didn't even talk about like anything with their past. Like he always, I guess, was goody, but they showed like a past video of hers.
They talk about more of his past. They show a video that she did. Yeah,
where she was like,
Hail Bailey Love or something like that.
Yeah, it was like she was basically like, it was supposed to be like a trailer park, whatever it was, and she's like with very British people in like overalls that they think that Americans look like, and and the best part was when they get up and start doing like we all look like that. Start doing the line dance.
We all look like that.
but it was very like they didn't.
Oh, they were all
explain,
doing the line dance. Yeah.
in the bar when they're like,
yeah. And then later on, they were doing the line dance in the,
they're doing the electric slide.
The electric slide. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. Like, I guess my whole thing was, like, I would have liked to have heard more about, like, her story, and, like, I used to be like this, I had trouble with this and this, I turned it around to these things.
Mm-hmm.
Or
why not go the other way around and have someone from Scotland coming over to the United States?
To an evangelical thing?
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be horrifying.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, that's even more horrifying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Being like they're but I'm pagan.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like there was just something missing from this
about
movie.
they could have it be around a celebration of boots called the Shit Kicker Man.
Shit Kicker Man.
The Shit Kicker Man.
The Shit Kicker Man. It could be called the Wicker Basket.
The Wicker Furniture.
The Wicker Furniture.
We had a wicker rocker.
The Wicker Amish Furniture.
We had like a wicker
Did
rattan rocker when I was a kid. That my mom used to love to get them, and like we'd use them until they like broke, and we'd get a new one. And I used to love those things.
Did your mom make sun tea too?
Yeah,
yeah. Your mom looks like she
would make sun tea.
My mom did too.
Did she?
Yeah, off the porch she just made sun tea.
Mom used to boil. Mom did sun tea, but she mostly did the. She would get she had like one of those big clear glass Pyrex like pots with like the stuff on the bottom, but she would boil up a giant thing of tea.
No. My mom would put, like, she would have one of those like jugs.
Yeah.
With the flowers on it.
Until I was in high school, I didn't know you could use like one tea bag. I thought what you were supposed to do is tie them all into just one like tail or one rat king of a tea bag.
How did your mom make tea?
She would take one giant pot of water.
What?
That was like a full size like, Dutch oven pot.
What?
And she would take an entire box of Lipton tea bags.
What?
And she would one by one pull the paper ends off of them. And then she would take all the strings and tie it into one giant knot and throw the whole bunch of the tea bags in.
Wow, that's strong
and
tea.
And boil it.
Was that strong?
Yeah, it was strong.
Well, fucking had to be.
And then she would pour it into a giant Tupperware pitcher once it had cooled. And then it wouldn't be like all the way cooled. It would just be like warm still. So like sometimes you would go to drink tea and you'd be like, oh my God, it's warm. Like I didn't know. But she'd put that in the fridge, but she would never sweeten it because she didn't like sweetened tea. It's bitter to match a soul.
Yeah.
And but then you would have to, but that's why I always am like, give me sweeteners. I need sweeteners.
Sure. You've been listening to Tea Talk here on the Juice. You can tell we like this movie so much, we started talking about tea.
Yeah. If you thought that story was bad, I got some others in it. And they are oolong.
Oolong.
Woo.
Ooh, get it? Oolong.
Anyway.
Shall we do our 5 questions?
We're already there. No, let me say real quick.
Okay, if you want to. I'm not going to listen to it, but go ahead.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
I do think there's some moments in here that, like, I was just like, that's creepy. Like, there are some creepy things. Like, there's, when they talk about, like, the May Festival or whatever, like, like, the past May Queens. And you see them, like, they're brushing oil on her, and they're like, because they want to keep the skin supple, because he likes to work with whatever. And I'm like, what's happening? And, I was like, ooh, they're going to, like, stuff her. And then, like, I was just like, okay, whatever. I thought they were going to have the cowboy running for his life and then him running into her and realizing she's stuffed. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen.
And probably, if the cat wouldn't have done that, I think maybe that would have
been what happened.
Right, because I think that, like, the cat kind of ruined everything.
Yeah.
Because the cat got into the milk.
Yeah.
That they poisoned.
And started a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when she gets locked in a room.
What a catastrophe that was.
And you realize there are all the other May Queens are in there. And it looks like, I mean, clearly they're all live girls who are just painted up. Like, that's not how taxidermy looks at all. I think they could have made those look creepier. Like they were like where they looked more like they were stuffed or like preserved faces and stuff. I think they could have made that creepier.
Just stand there.
But just that concept of like this room full of all the past May Queens, or like however many of the past May Queens, I think was creepy. And I was like, ooh, creepy room to be in.
Agreed.
They could have done more with it, but like, so I don't want to make it seem like there's no merit to this. I think there's some creepiness.
I think there's some creepy moments to
Yeah.
this. I just think there's some missed opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
The fact that they're all zombies, it seems like, that they all go, like, they eat. Like, they just kind of, like, ravish the cowboy guy.
Yeah.
That seems kind of weird
When
to
they
me.
corner him, because that's the Highland Laddie is not supposed to, like, they usually catch him before it gets to the end. He made it all the way there. But that's the thing, I'm just like, okay, so he made it all the way there, and he got there before you're supposed to get there. Normally they catch him and I'd kill him and eat him, like, on the way. But since he made it to the end, you killed him and ate him anyway.
I know.
I'm just like, so he didn't win anything? Mm-hmm. Like, it'd have been almost like cooler if they turned him to their side by doing that, you know? But, like, they show him... They don't show them actually killing him. They just kind of charge at him. And then you just see them eating and stuff and being coated in blood. But, like, you could have made that whole thing more gruesome, too.
Also, who's taking over since McTavish, his character, dies?
My guess is it'll probably be his wife.
His wife?
I would guess.
Yeah, it seems weird.
Yeah. The cook who
was from the original movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, good, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it's this cook that's possessed these towns. I don't know. Who knows?
She's the god. She's Minerva or
Yeah.
Ceres
Yes.
or whatever. Yeah.
And every town has someone that looks like Christopher Lee in it.
Yeah. And it wasn't even supposed to be him, I don't think.
No, that wasn't his character.
They just were teasing it, but like...
No. I mean, again, it's one of those things that's like, see?
Yeah.
We got to get eyeballs in this thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, there are some, there's some creepy moments. There's also, like, some, there's some really weird nudity in the first movie, and there is some excess nudity in this movie.
Yeah.
Both male and female.
Yeah.
I guess. More female than anything. It just doesn't quite work all together.
Yeah.
It almost works separately, but not together.
Yes. I'd agree. Okay, do you want to get to the 5 questions then?
Well, before we do that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I do. I do want to get to the 5 questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best part of this movie?
Well,
Well...
can we do the 5 questions right now?
What? Are you talking more about tea?
Oh, see, Oolong was a really good joke. I really liked that joke. But my favorite part of this movie is yeah. Don't you agree?
Do you mean to go first?
No, I don't want you to go first. I actually kind of really did like Gavin McTavish.
Yeah.
I thought he was creepy enough.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, as far as, like, if you're going to take over for someone, Christopher Lee, you're doing a fine job.
Yes.
And I think he's probably the best actor in the movie. Outside Christopher Lee, but Christopher Lee's not in it that long.
But even that,
to have
Christopher
that.
Lee was like, I'm doing this because
Right.
I said I would do something.
Right, but he's also not in it that much.
You're right.
So I guess that's my favorite. Also, it's nice to see some land outside when they're riding the horses, I guess. I don't know. That's so hard. This script is not good. There's some blue screens that aren't good.
Oh, yeah. When they do the blue screen things, they are
You know?
rough stuff.
So you tell me, what's your favorite part?
I think that my favorite part...
I mean, the ending was fine.
yeah. No, I think that...
And I don't mean that as like, it's over. But, you know, where like they stuffed her. Like,
Yes.
that's creepy.
I think that's honestly my favorite part is like, and I think they could have upped the creep factor with a lot with it. But like when she gets into the room with the other May Queens, I would have liked to see more horror ramped up around that. But I thought like that was the first time I was like, ooh, this is a fucking creepy room. Like The first Wicker Man, like, even though things looked happy and whatever else, like, you would get into a room and you're like, what is this? Like,
you're
it
like,
was
what is
weird.
this room?
Yeah, it's a room that, like,
Yeah.
seems slightly off, even though nothing is, like, immediately
But you're
alarming.
like, why is it off?
Yeah.
But you know something's off.
Correct. And
even without, like, anyone telling you. This does not feel like that.
And this is the first room that I was just like, oh, God. And then in the end, when they show that she's stuffed, I'm just like, nice. Okay. Like, she's part of that now. But I think they could have done more with it. But I like that because I think that was, like, the biggest thing in that movie that sticks with me is, like, a creep factor. Is because that just seems horrific and, like, implies a lot of gore and implies a lot of stuff without, like showing you them skinning her alive and doing whatever. It, like, implies the violence and it implies a lot of stuff. And to me, that's
that's why. Yeah, that's why I didn't want people to be all like, when I said the ending, I don't mean the credits rolling.
Right.
I do mean the ending.
Yes,
it's fine.
Yeah,
but I think just getting there, I'm like, it's just so.
And it's really not that long of a watch, honestly.
It's not that long of a watch, but it feels like soap opera-y.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. That I'm like, I don't want to get there.
Right. Do you think this movie stands on its own?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no, it really
you know what I mean? Like I said, let's have someone come that's that person's granddaughter, that person's grandson. Whatever.
Well, if they would have even said that, like, McTavish came from Summer Isle.
Yes.
And then brought all that to this town to, like, maybe he was, you know, they were already suffering from something and he brought that here and they were willing to follow along because it gave them hope.
Right.
Like, I could see something like that. But there was literally no connection.
Not at all.
You know, like, the connections were based off of having the same actor in some roles.
Right. The connections were the title, the actor, the cook, I guess.
Yeah. I really thought the police officer was a lot of reference.
Yeah, Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
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 But no, yeah.
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 No,
it doesn't stand on its own. Or no, it does stand on its own.
Yeah, it does because there's really no
but it
substantive connection.
It could have used some more stability.
Yes. Yeah, they need to either go completely separate or completely together, and because it just danced in that reference territory, and it was not real great.
Yeah,
with that.
either use that as a meta, and that's your way of kind of like lightening the script. Or go in.
Yeah. Can I also say, back to best part of the movie, I was like the Wicker Tree itself that they constructed looked ominous. I was like, wow, that's cool. Just on a side note.
No, that's fine.
Does this make you want to watch the first one?
This movie does not make me want to watch the first one. I love the first one anyway. I'll watch the first one.
Yeah.
Like whenever, like if any chance I get, I'll watch the first one.
Yeah.
Mostly makes me want to watch Hot Fuzz, and then it makes me want to watch.
Me too.
And it makes me want to watch all the trilogy, the
Coronado trilogy.
Yeah, the trilogy. That makes I don't know why I just want to watch that.
It particularly made me want to watch Hot Fuzz,
but mostly Hot Fuzz. But the three of them would be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
if I must.
But for some reason, it made me want to watch that. I don't know why. Some sets reminded me of it. I don't know why. Yeah. But yeah. Does it make you want to watch? Same way. Does it make you want to watch Hot Fuzz?
It made me want to. It made me want to watch Hot Fuzz.
I don't know why.
But it wasn't like. It made me want to watch Hot Fuzz, but like, I mean, I'd still watch the first Wicker Man, but like, I think just like it's weird that it didn't make me. I guess the reason it made me think of Hot Fuzz is because it almost has that more like parody aspect to it than
that I wanted this movie to have.
Yeah, than like the connection to the first one, because it's directing me somewhere else than where it should be. And that movie is a thing that parodies a bunch of styles, and even has the guy from Wicker Man in it. So, would you reboot, continue, or cancel
after this movie?
Yeah,
done. I'm done. Like this movie. No, I'm done.
You wouldn't redo this one with Nick Cage also?
Nope.
I'm back!
I'm back! The bees followed me! No.
Reboot this one and then have Andy Samberg as Nicolas Cage.
I could see maybe a Wicker show with different towns.
Yeah, I thought about
Fargo-esque.
Yeah,
maybe.
I thought about that, making like an anthology of like these kind of weird pagan ritual,
but based on
villages.
this movie, no. But I could see it. If this movie was done a little bit better, maybe I could see it a little bit more. But yeah, no, whatever.
Yeah, I think I could get behind that too. But I think just in this series of stuff, I would say no, just leave it. I don't even know. I can't remember what it was he was going for in the next one. It didn't have Wicker in the name for whatever reason. But yeah, I would not keep pushing forward with this line of films. So, and some of your experience in 2 words.
Oh, I said it earlier. Wicker Basket.
Wicker Basket.
Yep. Look, I don't have to like tell you why.
Don't.
It just said describe it in 2 words.
Yeah.
You, as a listener, and you, as a co-host, need to figure it out why I said Wicker Basket. I don't need to describe why I said Wicker Basket.
Yeah.
It might be the fact that it's a wicker basket and I'm playing off a wicker tree and Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Or it may be like, would you take basket weaving 101? Haha. Because this is a very simple script for me.
Oh, so you by making fun of what you were doing, you just got yourself to what the words actually meant.
No, I said might be. I don't know. I'm just saying.
My 2 words: spiritual sequel. You can't ask me why.
Sequel good. Sequel bad.
No, I wouldn't say sequel good.
Well,
the
spiritual sequel is your
no. I think
spiritual
that,
goodness.
I think grim ritual because it's like it's like dealing again with these like very like weird no offense to any pagans out there, but like these like weird kind of rituals that they're doing, and I'm sure pagans probably take a little umbrage with these movies, but
right, I would hope so.
But yeah, like it's like it's taking these things and saying here's whatever it is, but whereas last time it had this creepiness. And also, like, you felt like, there was this weird, like, component of life and death and whatever. This one just, like, it was grim, and it seemed like it lost out on that thing that made it, like, so creepy and, like, but, like, you were glued to it last time.
Like
it missed
there's a
that.
better story in one of those other queens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I'm like, maybe I need another story, but, like, with one of those other queens.
Yeah.
That are like... that are there, sitting there. Not this story. I feel like this is a story that could have been like, fine, this is an extra story.
Yeah.
But like this story seems kind of simple.
Yeah.
Kind of easy. And I think that we could have had a better, I don't know, script somewhere else. Just me.
If it was now, if they were making this now and it was separate from the other one, then you would have things like, whatever presents the May Queen, and it would have like a different horror story from one of the earlier ones, and then, those go.
No, I don't.
Like The Conjuring, Annabelle, and whatever. Like you have spin-offs of
just spin-offs of
yeah.
Because they're trying to do the Marvel way of like just connecting the universe. I don't even think you can do that with this. I think it is its own self. And so I think you can have like an anthology like we were talking about. But I think like you can't be all like, well, now let's put a ghost in there.
Right. I'm not saying they do
like,
that. I'm just saying
dumb.
like the May Queen being like at the first one or,
No. Oh, I gotcha. Like the prequel of this movie is May Queen 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first May Queen.
Yeah.
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 No.
You got it.
Yeah. But I think that would have been, I don't know. I think it would have had a funner time. But that's just me.
Yeah. Agreed. All right.
It's a shame. All right. You can, we downloaded this for $3.99. Or you can watch it on like a free, but I thought if we watched it free, they might have cut some of it. So.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So I was like, you know, sometimes you watch it free on Tubi or something.
Yeah.
And maybe they cut some stuff out and you're like, great. Thanks. Not saying that you're going to miss a lot if they cut some out of this movie.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine to look at cowboy butt every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, where can people find us, Jeremy?
People can find us at thedeucepodcast.podbean.com, Google Play, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, like a lot of those podcatchers. You can find us on Facebook in our Facebook group, or on Twitter at Deuce Podcast. And then we have, of course, our... You can also look up the hashtag AUN for Always Up Network, which is our podcast network we're part of. Lots of great shows through that as well. But you can also find us as part of that.
Sequel is king.
I know where I'm going. I know who goes with me. I know who I love. Dear knows who I'll marry. I have stockings of silk, shoes of bright green leather, combs to buckle my hair, and a ring for every finger. Feather beds are soft, and painted rooms are bonny, but I would give them all for my handsome, winsome Johnny. Some say he is poor, but I say he is bonny. Fairest of them all is my handsome, winsome Johnny. I know where I'm going. I know who goes with me. I know who I love. My dear knows who I'll marry. I know where I'm going. I know who goes with me. And